future can rest on a toilet. Now that's a headline that gets your attention. At least it got my attention this week. And the article began with this question: what does it mean to have a toilet? Well, you know, we in the United States don't spend too much time pondering that question. One person in the article said this: it allows us to live very busy lives, and it's not something we even need to think about. Others around the world, however, are not so fortunate. The story focused primarily on women. A woman in northern India walks 2 miles in the dark to a field for privacy. In Ecuador, a young woman has to visit her brother's house to use his toilet, which is shared by 9 other people from different families. Now get this, there are 2.5 billion people without access to a clean and proper toilet. And more than 1 billion of those just have the open ground. Without running water and plumbing, many resort to unsafe and unhealthy alternatives. Well, you might imagine that the consequences of such precarious solutions go way beyond health. Also at risk are education, employment, personal dignities, privacy, even security and injury, and even death when women are attacked and killed out in the open. It is a global problem, and one that we don't even give a second thought. Unless, of course, your toilet stops working. Well, now, before you think this sermon is going down the toilet, let me tell you why this story grabbed my attention. I know that I just barely begin to be thankful to God for everything. I'm not just talking about the basic necessities of life, although they are very important, and I am thankful for them. But what about adopting a spirit and attitude of thankfulness for everything? So just to redeem the start of this message a little bit, I read another article as well this week. Let me share a bit of it with you. This is from writer Jesse Jennings, and it's entitled, "Thanks Like Never Before." Health, happiness, harmony, prosperity, more time, more energy. If we assembled all the things we'd like from life into one big package and tied it up with a bow, we might label that sweet bundle thankfulness. Thankfulness celebrates the present. It crowds out worry over the future and paints the past with a fresh coat. The spirit of thankfulness need not clutter itself with vast speculations. It simply takes pleasure in things as they stand. Thankfulness can move circumstances and conditions by guiding us in them in new, creative, and wholesome directions. When we engage in vigorous thankfulness, we become not only happier with ourselves, but we become better friends and companions to everyone around us. Imagine a room full of grateful people, a neighborhood or a church or a continent, and then step into that place and look at what's going on. The fervent creativity, the generous mutual support and compassion, the reinterpretation of problems as possibilities, and breakdowns as breakthroughs. This Thanksgiving, let's give thanks like never before. You and I and our world are ready. Let's give thanks like never before. Are we ready? How about we try living our thanks? Our psalm today is a help for us. It is a prayer of thanksgiving. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Know that the Lord is God. It is he that made us, and we are his. Give thanks to him. Bless his name. For the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever. This is a psalm that many have memorized. I can say that from a little child, this is one of the psalms that I was told to memorize and remember it to this day. And in fact, it's the second most loved psalm in the entire Bible. You might guess that the first one is Psalm 23. Make a joyful noise to the Lord. This is Thanksgiving Sunday, and the Sunday before we celebrate the holiday of Thanksgiving this coming week. It is a time when we especially pay attention to the blessings in our lives, and we thank God for everything. Thanking God for everything is not just a practice we do on Thursday, the holiday of Thanksgiving. It is a lifestyle that we take on as grateful people. We give thanks all year long through our prayers, our relationships, our actions. Sometimes it takes a little boost to get started with the idea of living a life of thanksgiving. I think one of the easiest ways is to begin with the simple thank you. Our parents were right when they taught us to say thank you. Saying thank you acknowledges that you have noticed something. Perhaps an act of kindness from another person, or skill or ability that was shared. Perhaps a recognition of an act of service, or sharing one's appreciation. Saying thank you doesn't have to be a major thing. It can be as simple as saying thank you for cooking me breakfast. Thank you for washing the dishes. Thank you for that phone call. Thank you for that note that you sent. Thank you for bringing a picture to show all of us. Thank you for coming. Thank you for ringing the bells. Thank you for, you can fill in the blank. Taking that brief moment to say thank you is part of living a life of thanksgiving. In a little while in our worship service, we're going to say thank you to some of the leaders in our church who have served and given their time and their abilities and their love and care. It's a small way of saying thank you to all the people in all the places who make a difference in our lives. It is an expression of our gratitude. When we say those two words, thank you, we are communicating something that may make a great difference in someone else's life. For those of you who prefer to communicate this way, and I know who you are, and I'm one of them sometimes, the number one word communication that is shared this way is, any guesses? One word communication. Thanks. The number one two-word communication that is shared this way? thank you. The number one 3-word communication that is communicated this way: I love you. In all the words we have, in all the ways that we have to communicate, saying thank you is top on the list. And even so, it can never be said enough. It is not just the words, although they are very important. It is also the feeling and the attitude that goes with them. It's an attitude of living a life that expresses our gratitude. There are ways that you can say thank you that don't mean very much. Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks for doing that. Oh, well. No attitude, no spirit, no feeling to go along with it. When we live the attitude of saying thank you, we are acknowledging that our lives are made more rich, more full every day, every hour, every moment by the things that others have done with and for us. Now, sometimes it needs to be said that we need to remember to say thank you to those we are especially closest to, especially those in our own household, or our own extended family, or our own circle that we are best friends with. Sometimes those daily commonplace tasks that we have to do every day, like washing the dishes and, dare I say, cleaning the toilet, cease to become so common if we see them with gratitude. If we say a word of thanks that every household member performs a task that has to be done, and they don't lose their value so much when we pause to recognize our appreciation. Now, it's sad to say that sometimes there are people in families and workplaces and schools who only get recognized when they've done something wrong, or they miss their assignment, or something just hasn't gone the way it was supposed to. Instead of always recognizing those difficult moments when they happen, and they do happen, we can make the difference by outweighing those by recognizing the times we're grateful, the times we can say thank you, the times that we know we do make a difference and grow relationships whenever we regularly keep in touch in a positive way with one another. As living our Thanksgiving becomes a way of life for us, we begin to see more and more what others have done to make our lives better. We see the gifts of God. We see the everything from God. And we say thank you for everything. Give thanks to God. Bless his name. For the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever. And so today, on this Thanksgiving Sunday, I say to each of you, thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for all your gifts and care and compassion. Thank you for living and loving and serving in the Spirit of Christ in this community of faith. May each and every day be a day of thanksgiving. Amen.